Tonight, there are sweeping new rules for Colorado's oil and gas industry, and they stem from a controversial law passed last year. Any major changes for the energy industry are big news because it is one of Colorado's biggest employers. The state says energy and natural resources support nearly 150,000 Colorado workers with an annual payroll of more than $11 billion. Well, our political specialist, Sean Boyd, is live to explain the new rules. Sean, we know crude oil production has quadrupled in Colorado over 10 years. Natural gas has doubled. Energy seems to be doing very well.
Yeah, Jim, this is an industry that pumps $30 billion a year into our economy, including $1 billion in state and local taxes, $600 million for schools. Depending on who you ask, the new rules either ensure that companies can operate here safely or ensure that they will no longer operate here. Among those rules, major new setbacks from homes and schools, wildlife habitats, and waterways.
The motion passes by a vote of 5-0.
As the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission approves sweeping new rules, contractors like Ben Holshoe worried they would cripple an industry already struggling. 7,300 oil and gas workers have lost their jobs in the last few months alone as demand for oil has plummeted.
We have a 3-year-old son. We have a daughter coming in March. And so we have had a lot of discussions about what this looks like if I do lose my job and how I'm going to support our family.
The commission insists the rules are balanced and reasonable and that companies have nothing to fear. But there's no question acquiring a permit will be more difficult. Regulators will now assess cumulative impacts of things like noise, lighting, and air quality. Wells must be 500 feet from most streams and wildlife habitats and 2,000 feet from homes, schools, and other occupied structures.
Largely, I have received positive support for where we have landed. There is a recognition and appreciation for the fact that the new rules are more robust and tougher and more comprehensive. But to a T, people seem to understand that this was to be expected when moving the landscape from fostering to regulating in a protective manner.
Companies can apply for waivers, but they will be at the discretion of the commission, which apologized this week for accidentally sending an email referring to oil and gas companies as snake oil and the devil, among other things.
In my opinion, it is not a fair and unbiased commission. It is a commission that has been put together by the governor to get rid of oil and gas operations in our state. Because we need to provide for our families. And not only do we need to put food on the table, in our minds, we need to provide energy so that we can continue to live in a clean environment, in a place where we do have reliable, affordable, safe energy.
Now, the head of the Colorado Oil and Gas Association industry trade group is more optimistic. Dan Haley told me he is confident that companies can meet the health and safety requirements needed to obtain permits. But he admits because of the new setbacks in almost all cases, they will now need a waiver. Live in Broomfield, Sean Boyd covering Colorado First.
Sean,